What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here. It's Thursday afternoon. This show opened to non-members for once because we got so much to talk about. I wanted to give you all that aren't registered for free, you lazy fools, at Fightful.com, a little peek at what you're missing. Every Thursday, I'm joined by a guy who lied his way into a career, basically. I'm just saying he lied. He lied to Dana White. He lied to a company that's worth like $4 million. And now he has parlayed that into the Progress Atlas Championship. Matt Riddle, what's up?
Just chilling, great things come from small lies a lot of the time, I feel like that's like how a lot of kids are born.
That's very true.
But hey, great things. Great things.
Damn, do we have a lot to talk about.
Let's talk
You still got
about
your title. You still
Of
got your
course,
title.
I'm not going to lose this title. It was some bourgeois shenanigans at CZW this past weekend. I tapped out Dave Starr. He pinned me. A ref tombstone to me. I mean, it was a ludicrous match, But
now, I just want to say this. You trashed me using an impaler as a finish, but then you got tombstone by a ref. What's up with that?
That didn't finish me. Canadian Exploder or Canadian Destroyer or whatever.
Destroyer?
That finished me.
You took a Canadian Destroyer.
With ease, bro.
Damn. I got to stop doubting you. I mean, I wondered if your claims of being able to do 630s were true. You took a Canadian Destroyer.
With ease. And we did it was I threw a punch, he grabbed, did like a crucifix around my body into the Canadian Destroyer backwards. So it was like, whoop, 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 1, 2, 3, oh.
Now, there are things that led up to that match that I want to talk about a little bit later, but I got a lot to approach you about here.
Yeah, get in.
You are facing another member of Fightful.com this Friday.
I was just thinking about that. Tomorrow.
Ooh, that's not a match that a lot of people saw coming that they would expect a Matt Riddle to face.
I didn't see it
big
coming.
Size and style difference.
There's a drastic contrast in styles. But like I've said before, I feel with guys like, like that style, it makes my job easier in a way because – it's just, some memorization. That's about it. I can take like a stunner, and other moves. I can take Canadian Destroyers. I can take anything.
I'm excited for this. This is the first Fightful versus Fightful match battle that we have going on. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that. I was like, soon I'll probably be fighting Sean Pearson again. And now, you got the writing team. And
you and Elias Theodoru can like you all can stand back to back. We can braid your hair together, and you all can just run opposite directions to see who has the strongest hair. I think that's the next logical move.
I don't think that's a safe decision for anybody.
Are you worried about what the Pert Plus is going to do for his hair?
Oh, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I just don't. It's like a headbutt. I don't see a good outcome for either man. It's a lot of whiplash on the neck region. I do outweigh him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I do have that advantage. It sounds more like I'll just be carrying him on my back.
I don't know. I think outside of camp he might be. I think he's close to your size outside of camp. Well,
what does he
close
fight
to your
at?
weight. I think he fights at 170 or 185.
Oh, whoa! Then he's a big one. He's a big guy. He's probably bigger than me.
He's 6'1", and he fights at middleweight.
Yeah, 6'1". I weigh like 210. He probably weighs like 210, 220. We're probably exactly the same exact size. Two stallions. He's a little more style. But I will say this. I went to the hairdresser's, got a little trimmer, on the edge. And I was like, give me that shampoo treatment. Because I really don't shampoo my hair. And it was nice. Like the wife even complimented how nice my hair looked. I was like, oh, so maybe it's just I got to use like shampoo instead of like body wash and sweat.
Were you getting yourself right for Valentine's Day? What was going on there?
No, you know what it is? When I do the cornrows, I have like a little gap of hair that you have to like pull up, like my neck hair and stuff, and it's like it just really sucks. So I was like, might as well like just trim off like a 1/4 inch at the bottom all around, and then I can, it's a little sharper.
Nice. When's the last time you had gotten a haircut before that? Because I know you grew it out for a while.
Probably. It's been a while. But like over a year, a little over a year.
Because you came into pro wrestling with the UFC style Matt Riddle haircut.
Yeah, I had it was shaggy, but it wasn't that long, and went from that to, I got a lot of hair now. So
also, you appeared on Sean Waltman's podcast. What was that like?
It was Sean Waltman's podcast. It was like talking to Sean. I've hung out with him before. We've talked before. We've been at multiple shows together and stuff like that. Like I said, he was the rep for my very first loss, where I tapped out to a sharpshooter to my buddy Billy Damiana, and he called the tap. So we've talked. So it was like us catching up. We just caught up on the show, and then he asked a couple more questions, and that was about it.
Glad to see Waltman doing well. He was one of several people when we made a list of names of people that we were interested in podcasting. Obviously, you were on that list. Shane Helms was on that list. Vince Russo on that list. But Sean Waltman and Bruce Pritchard and I think Ryback were also on the list as well. And by the time I had emailed each of them, they already had a podcast in the works, so that didn't get to go. But he helped me out a lot with my Brawl for All article one time. So glad to see him doing well. And out there in California, you said you're going to hang out with him this weekend?
Yeah. We hit me up. After the interview, we hit each other up, and I'm going to hit him up when I get in. The only thing is, for some reason, every time I go to PWG, I'm out the next morning really early.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, if you want to hang out, you should really just come to the show, because it's like one, why not, It's like,
oh, yeah.
It's if you're going to go to any indie show, you should definitely go to PWG.
Oh, of course, but tickets sell out in a minute. Here's what I asked.
But he's X-Pac. He's Sean Waltman.
Sure. Hey, they turned down the biggest star in Hollywood, Jerry O'Connell, at the door. Do you even know who that is?
No, I don't know who that is.
Nobody does.
He's not a big star. Who are you talking about?
What was he in? What's the last thing Jerry O'Connell was in? That way I can familiarize you with this guy. He was in like a bunch of terrible Kangaroo Jack. Remember that shit?
I remember it, but I remember the kangaroo. I don't remember the supporting actor.
Exactly. And you don't even remember the kangaroo from the movie. You remember it from the trailer because it was completely wrong. In the trailer, they made it look like the kangaroo talked. The kangaroo didn't talk.
I thought it was CGI the whole movie. That's how
it is. Okay. But it was still a CGI talking kangaroo. Let's see. He was in Scream 2.
Scream
2.
Ooh, which part did he play?
He played Derek. He was Frank Cushman in Jerry Maguire. He was obviously not the main guy.
Yeah, he's never the main guy. Was he the main killer in Scream 2? I remember what he looked like.
No.
Okay, so no, there's no way. He was like one of the frat guys.
He's been in a lot of fringe movies. Tomcats. Did you ever watch that?
I did.
Okay, I think he was the main role in Tomcats.
Oh, he's that guy?
Yeah. He got turned down at the door. I
can't believe they turned him down. I would have let him in. I'd be like, yo, Tomcats.
He was apparently a good sport about it because he did buy his tickets for a later show and did end up going. While we're speaking of celebrities, did you see who the latest member of the NWO is?
Oh, stop. Yeah. I saw
NWO.
you pumping it.
Look at that. Look at that.
I don't even want to look at it.
I didn't even know who that was until yesterday. And I had Ryan Satin saying, how could you not know who that is? And I'm like, well, Ryan, I didn't work for TMZ like you did. It's not my job to know who that is.
I'm just offended. I'm offended. She should never wear the black and red. She does not deserve to wear the wolf pack on her back.
Well, apparently I can tell you it's done stuff for our site, but look what WWE Shop's pushing right now on their main page.
I can only imagine they're trash. Oh, remember?
Look at that.
Stop it. Stop
Main page, first thing that comes up.
Stop. I'm furious. This
is the celebrity wing of the NWO Wolfpack's become a thing. You know the comedian Aziz Ansari, right?
Yeah.
He wore it on SNL several weeks ago.
He wore the Wolfpack t-shirt?
Oh yeah.
So they're all just wearing well, good for the brand. Good for that.
But
good. Okay.
But guys, hey, I can do you one better. I can do them one better, Matt.
What's that?
If this damn thing will load. I got something that's a better fashion statement. How about one of these, Matt? For those of you who can't see, look at that. Look at that.
Still can't. Oh,
you can see that beauty.
Dude, I actually wore that on the Sean Waltman show yesterday.
What did he think of it?
Oh, he loved it. He loved it. He wanted 10.
For those of you who are listening on iTunes, Stitcher, or Download, that's the BRO shirt, the NW Bro shirt over at kingofbros.com. Head over there, get all your Matt Riddle merchandise. And for those of you who are listening who haven't registered for Fightful.com, if you register absolutely free, you get early access to shows like this. We're giving you one to non-members right now, just to give you a little peek, because we got some fun stuff to talk about, Matt. Kendall Jenner.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But I'm glad, they're pushing the brand. It's getting eyes on the product, be it just for a t-shirt buy or whatever it's for, And I hope they do know, what the Wolfpack is. I hope that's like part of it. And they're like too sweet and then behind closed doors. That would make me happy. But if they don't, they just like the colors, New World Order, black and red, But I'm not too stoked about that.
Do you think Kendall Jenner was a wrestling fan growing up?
Very possible. Wrestling, I feel like a lot of people don't realize it, but wrestling touches the hearts and souls of millions.
That's true.
Especially the children. The children love it. And if you're a grown-up and you're still a child at heart, pro wrestling, for a lot of you, it's amazing. It's great.
You want to talk about amazing and great. WrestleMania weekend, you are fighting a guy who almost qualifies for fucking Social Security, Matt.
Yeah.
Dan the Beast Severn.
Yeah, bro.
Explain to me the process of being told you're fighting that guy.
Well, there was a couple other names on the list. I don't think I should, list them, but there were other MMA legends. And they all turned it down. And Dan Severn was given the opportunity, and he said yes. And then he asked for my weight and stats and this, that, and the other thing. So Dan's taking it pretty serious. I don't know if it might be a pure shoot. It might be a shoot weekend.
Oh, I would imagine so.
Oh yeah,
tell you,
it's gonna be a treat.
That guy sends out the best press releases because he writes them himself, and he'll put words like fisticuffs and stuff in there, and I'm like, damn, this guy is the OG, the legend.
I'll tell you this: I saw him work at AIW, very very good promotion up in Ohio, and. Hey, it was.
How do you think that style is going to fit with yours? Because he also doesn't do a whole lot of running the ropes. And why is your phone going off all the damn time, Matt?
Dude, because it's that free episode this week. People love it.
It must be. They're all free. They just don't have to be lazy and not register for Fightful.com.
You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
So
now This guy, NCAA Division I wrestler, a UFC legend, Hall of Famer, I believe. He won the UFC, or no, he competed. No, he did win the UFC Super Fight Championship. But this is the real super fight right here. WrestleMania weekend. Two stallions, as you say, going at it.
Dude, WrestleMania weekend, two stallions going at it at midnight. It's gonna be a showdown. It's gonna be good. And, you know, when I saw him in Ohio, I wanted to wrestle him then. You know, I even said he looked better there than I thought he's looked even in past WWE days. And I think, you know, he's good. He's good to go. You know, I think we're going to have a really solid match.
For those of you who may not be familiar with Dan Severn's MMA credentials, he beat names that you all would know, like Tank Abbott, Ken Shamrock, Forrest Griffin, even Paul Varlins, who wrestled in the or wrestled in ECW one time. Did you ever see that, where Paul Varlins jobbed to Taz?
I didn't.
Do you even know who Paul Varlins is?
No.
Oh my gosh, you got to watch those early UFCs. They're terrible.
I will.
They're horrible.
Not.
So what's your reaction when somebody says, okay, Dan Severn's on the list, 58 years old?
Oh, I was down. I was like, hell yeah, that's a money match. You know, it's like with my UFC background and credentials and all that, my grappling background, wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And then Dan the Beast Severn, UFC legend, Hall of Famer, still fights, still does everything. He's an Iron Man, you know, like he's done it all, you know. So it's like, I think if anything, he has more credentials than me, but I think him going against me puts more eyes on it because I think, you know, I'm up and coming, you know.
Yeah, sure. And he's still working. And the thing about his style is he'll probably be able to work that style when he's 64 too.
Oh yeah. When you're not running the ropes and diving onto the concrete floor and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, I feel like your career lasts a little longer. Not saying you shouldn't do that stuff. It's cool.
Got another photo for you.
Oh, just full photos.
Here we go. For those of you who don't see it, it's Donald Trump with the McMahon family.
I saw
got Triple
that.
H, Stephanie, and then somebody put the quote up there that Stone Cold Steve Austin has stunned 46% of the people in this photo.
Yeah, and that's because there's kids in the photo.
Yeah,
he hasn't stunned children. Those kids were like being born during the Attitude Era.
The only adult he didn't stun in that photo is Shane's wife, Marissa, who was once an on-screen talent for WWE, and if she would stuck it around any longer,
would have got stunned.
Would have got it.
Everybody got stunned. If you were working with the company throughout, what was it, like 95 to whatever, you're getting stunned.
96 to 03, yeah.
96 to 03, you're getting stunned.
So Donald Trump has a giant smile on his face, and Triple H's daughters are holding up the picture of Donald Trump shaving Vince McMahon's head. Did you ever think this would be a photo taken inside the White House, Matt Riddle?
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt anything anymore. Like, I remember when I was a kid and Hulk Hogan said he was going to run for president, and I was like, you know what? Yep. He is Hulk Hogan. He is the immortal one. You know, like if anybody could run this country, that guy. You know, so, and then like Jesse the Body Ventura, like there's always been politicians that are like close to wrestling or, you know, other forms of entertainment, you know, and I think, you know, Donald Trump, I don't really know how it all came about or happened, but right place, right time, he sees the opportunity and now he's the president. Yeah.
What a world we live in. What a world we live in. Also a world we live in. We got to see that CZW promo you cut. And if, for those of you who haven't seen it, wait till after the show. Go find the CZW preview for the Matt Riddle David Starr match. Matt, I don't want to seem like the word impressed isn't the word I want to use, but damn, that was good. That was phenomenal.
Well, you know, I don't know, man. I really
You
don't.
were straight sassy, Matt.
That's what they wanted. They were like, "Hey, we want you to be a heel." You know, like you're a bad get like his stars a face at CZW. So I was like, okay. And it's CZW, so they don't want anything really too sugar coated. You know, you're allowed to say the F word. At
Oh, you sure
C-
did.
you know, you're allowed to say shit and piss and fuck at CZW. So, you know, like, so I let it rip and I was being arrogant and cocky, and any compliment that was ever given to me or anybody that talked about me, I was going to use that in a promo, you know, because I think arrogant Matt Riddle would do that. You know, I think bad Matt Riddle would do that. So that's what I did. And I think that's the truest I can be to myself and still be bad, you know, and mean. It is just saying how good I am and how bad you are and how valuable I am. And
There
how,
was
you
one
know.
there was one quote in particular, Matt, that turned a lot of heads.
Right? It was a good one. I already know I already know what you're gonna say.
What was that quote, Matt?
This Triple H can't keep my fucking name out of his mouth. That was
Now I had a lot of people. It's so funny. People contact me and they're like, Why did Matt say that?" I'm like, "I'm not mad. I don't fucking know." Okay, he cut a good promo, and it made headlines, and more people knew about the match. Success, right?
Yeah, you know, like to me, I look at it like this. I hopefully nobody takes it personal, you know. It just so happens that, you know, he was asked about me on a press conference. That's probably like that's probably the last time he's probably talked about me. But you know, but he did talk about me, so heel Matt Riddle is gonna say that, you know. And I think, you know, what I do is entertainment. I'm trying to entertain people. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to, you know, ruffle feathers and, you know, enjoy myself while I can, you know.
It is true though. He can't keep your name out of his fucking mouth.
You know, nobody can. Nobody can. It's ridiculous. It's a good
I'll
though.
ask
It's
you
a good
this.
though. It's a good time.
I'll ask you this, and somebody actually asked me. I think it was Jimmy Van on the Wednesday show. He said, "Do you think saying stuff like that hurts or helps Matt's chances of WWE?" And I said, "Well, here's the thing. Triple H does the hiring, but I bet if Vince McMahon heard that, he'd go, 'I love it. Grab him by the balls,' or
Dude,
something like that."
I'll tell you this. I feel like that promo and other promos they've seen me do, I think they already know. If they don't know, they should. And I think that's it. I've been on like a big stage my entire life, and the more cameras you put on me, the more time you give me to talk, stuff like that, the better it's just gonna get. You know, but like I said, like the one thing I enjoy about what I do right now is like I'm on the, you know, independent circuit, and a lot of the places I work, like Progress, CZW, even Germany, they're uncensored places, like where I can do what I want, when I want, how I want, say what I want, and they like encourage that. They like the creativity, you know. Doesn't mean I'm going to say anything offensive because I don't have to be. I'm my character. I'm not. I'm not an offensive person, but at the same time, I'll still get a reaction, you know.
Do you think playing the Super Troopers repeater game is offensive to Triple H?
You know, I don't think so. Like
You think
if
he was? Is
I
he
feel,
lost on the
well,
reference?
I feel like they said something I couldn't repeat back to them, then it would be one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if they were like, "Hey, we want to give you a job tomorrow," and then I was like, "Hey, I want to give you a job tomorrow," I couldn't pull that one. I'd answer that question.
You could say if you wanted to keep up the theme, you could say you could give me a job, right? Meow.
Yeah, you know, I could answer with that. Maybe I will one day. Maybe not. Maybe I buried myself when I cut that last promo. He's like, that kid's never gonna work in this company. And that's a possibility, you know, and that's a risk I took. But I think it was entertaining. Just like even the end bit of that promo where the guy goes, "How do you think the crowd's gonna perceive you?" And I'm like,
It's perfect.
they're gonna love me. I'm like, and if they don't love me when I come out, like I've been in front of crowds and I explain how people don't give me that love, and by the end of the match, they're saying, "Please come back, bro, bro, bro. I love you, whatever." You know?
a lot of people don't realize that Sean Waltman was instrumental in getting you that tryout that you pretty much blew through. So that's got to be, that had to be, what's the word I'm looking for? It had to help you mentally going into that, knowing, hey, this is one of Triple H's buddies that thinks highly enough of me, and one of the best workers in WWE in the 90s that saw me and was like, okay, he's getting me the tryout. Do you think that helped you in Triple H's eyes off the bat? Like that Sean Waltman was like, you all need to see this guy?
You know, I knew with Sean Waltman's word input, he is part of the clique. You know? Mm-hmm. So I think like that right there, it was just, there was no way, you know. And then with my background and credentials, and like you said, with his background and credentials, it was just, you know, like it's like if I trained with somebody, if I went to the gym and trained with somebody, and they were like, "Could he fight in the UFC? Do you think he's good?" And I'm like, "That guy's gonna be a star." You know, like I would take my word for it. You know, I would take, you know, other UFC veterans, like Martin Kampman said that, or Carlos Condit said that, or even, you know, whoever, you know, if any of those guys I've trained with said it, I would take their word for it, you know? So, you know, yeah, makes sense. And yeah, I knew it would help a lot, you know? I knew it would help a lot coming from the Monster Factory. Then having Sean Waltman say something. Plus Joe Briscoe is going to say something, you know, and other people. So
you had mentioned on the Waltman show that the WWE took a pass on you and stuff, and obviously that's worked out in your favor long term. Now, I've got a lot of like aspects to come at this from. Do you think you'd be as good in the ring as you are right now had you went to WWE at that point?
I think I'd be better at probably pro wrestling, but it wouldn't matter because that's not my style. You know?
You'd be running a lot more ropes.
Yeah. You know, I'd be wearing knee pads and shoes, and I'd be running ropes and jumping off probably the top rope quite a bit. You know? But I think this way I was able to like build my legitimacy on the independent scene. And right now, lucky for me, I feel like what I do is really different. And it's popular because the popularity with mixed martial arts, people want to see that mixture of styles in their pro wrestling, that those real holds, those holds that you know you've seen in the UFC, you've seen work every time in jiu-jitsu matches.
Yeah, there's a big difference between now and 20 years ago, because 20 years ago, well, not 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, you could believe that a guy couldn't get out of a rear chin lock. But now you watch MMA every week, you sit out of that shit.
Sit out, pivot, switch, grab, you know, fight hands. You know, that's what I'm trying to get to, where it's like all my matches just look like a straight fight, and then there's a winner.
You didn't see a lot of the hand fighting back in the 80s. You didn't see like one kick to the chest drop somebody back then. Because they portrayed everything like you would see the karate specialists sometimes that would throw like the little rapid kicks. Yeah. Now today, a solid punch, a solid kick, that can be a game changer in a match. I like that wrestling has like some more simple things get over now, even though that more intricate stuff like we've talked about before, the 630s and the shooting stars, those are over too. But so is a good solid punch to the jaw.
I think timing and playing the crowd and conditioning the fans a certain way to certain things, you know, like right now, like the fans are conditioned to like, you know, like the traditional story, oh, this, you know, back and forth, and then the fire up, and then falsy, then finish or whatever, or back and forth, maybe even longer depending on time. But like me, like I like surprise finishes, and I don't mean like out of nowhere roll ups, but I mean like just like I've been stomping people's heads in and pinning them and cradling them. I find that to be effective. And in real life, if I stomp your head and cradle you as tight as I can to pin you, like to punk you out, like I'm pretty sure you'll probably let me. Or a majority of people would if I stomped your head like that, you know? So keep it real.
In addition to all this, it's like if you would have been brought in a year ago or around a year ago when you had your tryout, you probably would have came in, you would have been at the Performance Center. You would have worked some live events and probably not been on TV in a long time. Like today, if they brought you in, or in like 6 months if they brought you in, they almost got to put you on TV. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that they have to, but it'd be a situation where that situation probably got you more money. First off, if in the event they ever sign you, you're probably getting a bigger deal. You're probably getting featured more prominently than some short-haired, goofy-looking Matt Riddle, fresh out of the Monster Factory, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think they did it intentionally as well. I think they were like, yeah, we could bring this guy in, but it's like, let's see, you know, if he really wants this. One, I think it was kind of a test. And then two, you know, it was like, and let's see if, you know, he lives up to the hype. And, you know, they knew I had it athletically. They knew I had a character, you know. It's just a matter of getting out there, you know, getting in front of people. And lucky for me, I got working with Evolve and working with PWG and AAW and Beyond Wrestling and everywhere else I could work, you know. And before you knew it, now I'm traveling everywhere. It's crazy.
Do you think that you being in Evolve has maybe slowed the clock on them signing you? Like, had you went to Ring of Honor, or had you said, no, I don't really want to go to Evolve, do you think maybe they would have offered you a contract on the spot? Do you think that would have, as we've heard before, maybe forced their hand? Do you think that that's played a factor? Because in Evolve, I don't want to say they had you under their thumb, but they definitely had their eye on people in Evolve.
Yeah, well, the Evolve contract, WWN contract, like, I can't, like, really work other places, like, unless I get permission or they allowed me to. And the only place that I can, like, completely leave my contract and just leave completely is WWE. So if WWE offers me a contract, I'm allowed to say, thank you very much, I'll finish out a couple dates or whatever, and then I'll go work with WWE. But I couldn't, like, if TNA offered me a deal and I was like, hey, I'm going to leave, thank you, you know, I'm going to take – that would be cool, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think the Evolve deal has hindered anything. I think, you know, I think it's just I think it's still just me just getting groomed, you know, or maybe it's not that. Maybe they're just like, you know, Matt's not our flavor of the week. And you got to realize this too. They have so much talent. Like, even if they sign me now, even if they sign me 6 months from now, like, they still have too much talent to, like, I think I'd get lost. There's so many guys, you know, like right now, if anything, there's not as many guys on the indies, so I kind of stick out even more, you know? So it's like a couple mainstay guys I feel like are like me, like Zack Sabre, you know, but like the rest of the guys are like in Ring of Honor or WWE.
Well, Zack turned down a WWE deal, which is interesting, but I mean, that's another guy who apparently is ready to invest in himself and just doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, I think a big thing with Zack is, you know, I think he knows how valuable he can be, and once he gets to a certain point in legitimacy, it's like kind of like an AJ Styles. It took a while, but like once he got there, it's like, dude, you've been everywhere. Like the second you get there, like everybody's been waiting for your opportunity to get there. You deserve it. It's almost like, you know, like it's a party for you when you finally get your shot.
Now, we're obviously going to talk about your Saturday night, your upcoming Saturday night. But do you have a booking Sunday too?
I do. I got booking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I leave tomorrow morning bright and early.
Hot damn, man. Where are you at Sunday?
Sunday, I believe I'm in Illinois. I think it's Illinois. Let's check.
So you're going from Illinois to California back to Illinois?
I believe so, because I'm wrestling Glory Pro.
Ooh, Glory Pro. So that's Elgin's, right?
Yeah, and he's challenging me for the Atlas Championship. And the dude's huge. The dude's tomorrow.
Yes, he is.
And I'm wrestling on Saturday too with Brian Cage. So that's a small amount of man.
A friend of our site, Trina, who I think you've met before, she's doing the ring announcing for that show. So good luck to her as well. Lots of Fightful connections going on this week. And we got Elias Theodorou fighting Saturday night. Or Sunday night, rather, the UFC show, which we are doing a live.
Is it the guy with the nice hair?
Yes, he fights He fights Cesar Ferrara this weekend in Halifax for the UFC show on Sunday.
I hope he wins. Wish him luck.
He will. Now, what I want to ask
that's
you.
That's a little too confident there. I'm a big fan of confidence, but it's a fight. MMA.
He's going to win.
He's going to win. Anything can happen, bro.
I guarantee you a member of Fightful.com wins at AAW this Friday as well.
Well, that's a guarantee. And it's probably going to be me.
Oh, full disclosure. Full disclosure. I couldn't make it happen, but I did email Jason, and I was like, hey, if you want to do a run-in on the podcast, you can.
Oh, shit, that would have been great. And he's like, you know what, you piece of trash.
He was tied up, though, so unfortunately we couldn't.
Yeah.
Also, I tried to get Virgil to do a run-in on yesterday's podcast with Jimmy Van because Jimmy Van has a cardboard cutout of Virgil behind him in his office now.
Oh, that's nice.
Then Virgil was trying to outprice me. I was like, listen, man, we're not paying you more than we do Shane Helms and Matt Riddle to do a 20-second spot.
Come on. Over the internet, bro.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Go to a library and sit in front of a computer for a minute. Shit.
Probably what he'd have to do. Fedor fights Saturday night. Our own Sean Pearson says, I used to be a fan of Fedor before he turned 50.
Wow, Sean. Way to come at the throat.
He's fighting Matt Mitrione this Saturday. That's not like a walk in the park for Fedor at this stage.
Matt Mitrione.
Did you see Fedor get his ass kicked by Fabio Maldonado, a 205-pounder?
He didn't get his ass. Dude, you didn't see the fight because Fedor won and he beat the shit out of the other guy.
He won in a place where the judges literally worked for him because he's the president of the Russian MMA Federation.
Bro. Dude, he won that fight. I watched the fight.
It was a close fight. I had it a draw personally, but those last two rounds were something else.
You're insane.
No way, man. Did you watch? I'm sure you didn't watch UFC 208, did you?
The one that was this past weekend?
Yes.
No.
Controversial judging decisions there.
Oh yeah, guys, and all the punches after the bells.
Yeah, that was weird, man.
Come on.
That was weird. To Durandamy's credit, between round 1 and 2, she straight up said to her corner, whatever you're saying to me, I can't hear. So it's possible maybe she didn't hear the bell, but the reffing in that was trash.
Well, you hear the bell. Unless you're literally deaf, you hear the bell. There's no way. And if you don't, I'll be honest too, if you don't have that kind of control over yourself in the ring because you're just that fired up, then you shouldn't fight. That's reckless.
Big John McCarthy was putting a lot of it on the referee, Todd Anderson, because the referee was not there. The referee's supposed to step in between you at the end of each round to say, just in case you don't hear it. And then he didn't take a point. That's weird to me.
Yeah, it's controversial, But I'll say this, you should always protect yourself. Always.
Yep.
Always. I don't care if the round's over, whatever. Look at Paul Daly, Josh Koscheck. You got to be, dude, always.
Koscheck fights on the Fedor card this Saturday.
Oh, good for him. Koscheck?
Yep.
Good for him.
Facing some scrub whose name I don't know.
What promotion is this? Rising?
Bellator.
Oh, Fedor's fighting for Bellator?
Yeah, this one time at least.
Oh, hey. So that means who else is fighting? Paul Daly's fighting Rory McDonald?
Not this week. That's happening in May, I think.
Oh, okay. Bellator doing big things.
Well, here's the interesting situation is Showdown Joe and UFC Hall of Famer Frank Trigg broke down on one of the shows. Spike TV is switching to what they call Paramount TV. We don't know the future of their sports division. Step in and say, no more sports division. See ya. Hit the bricks. So that's unusual. Also this weekend, Chet Congo is on the card. Josh Thompson versus Patricky Pitbull. The way that they got Fedor is they offered him a deal, and they also offered to book several of his teammates. So Fedor looking out for his boys. But who you got between Fedor and Mitrione?
I got Fedor.
Huh.
And the reason being is nothing against Mitrione. I think he's a pro football player, correct?
Yes.
And guys like him, who else is like him? Kyle Kingsbury and others, that
Hmm.
really rely on their athleticism, and size to win fights. And Matt Mitrione's one of those guys. Fedor's dangerous. Fedor is extremely
Yes.
dangerous everywhere. He's dangerous on the ground. You're not gonna catch him with a submission. You have to probably catch him on the chin at this point because of his age. So
Most high level or even mid level heavyweights are dangerous. Anything can
yeah,
happen at that level. I mean, Brett Rogers almost knocked him out. So
yeah. Well, Brett Rogers hits like a freight train. Like Brett
yeah,
Rogers would probably knock me out.
that's what his wife says.
Yeah, she didn't get knocked out though, which makes me believe she has
Right?
she should be fighting.
Probably,
She has a chin
probably.
of granite because most of the heavyweight division in Strikeforce couldn't stand up to that hit.
Saturday, Jeff Cobb and Matt Riddle against Brian Cage and Michael Elgin. The unbreakable effing machines.
Yes, good match.
You're in there with three guys who can deadlift German suplex a thing or two.
I could probably deadlift, suplex Michael Elgin. And I could
Probably.
probably do it to Cage. I could probably do it to Cobb too. I've suplexed like 2 out of the 3 guys already.
Elgin fresh off of an all-time great match with Tetsuya Naito in New Japan, but this is a hell of a match, Matt.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's going to be happening.
It is in California, so I'm hoping Kendall Jenner shows up and manages you all, and you all can form
If she shows up in a Wolfpack t-shirt, I'll probably be furious. I'll be like, why are you stealing my thunder?
You won't form the NW Bro Wolfpack?
I'll make her wear a Chosen Bro t-shirt.
That's a fantastic shirt.
It is. Picking them up later today.
I'm so excited to see. I hope that the crowd sings "Let It Bro."
I'm hoping so. I hope that they embrace it. That or I have a bunch of t-shirts that nobody wants or likes.
Our boy Graham Williams brought it to my attention yesterday that that's a real possibility that the crowd could be singing "Let It Bro" at PWG.
Oh yeah, that was definitely the goal. And I think it's gonna happen.
A couple more UFC picks that I wanted to mention, or a couple UFC fights I wanted to mention for this weekend. By the way, guys, post-show after UFC on Sunday, not after Bellator Saturday. I will be traveling, so we're covering both Sunday night. Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, against Travis Brown. Travis Brown, who has left Edmond Taverdian. He says that he hasn't, but he has. So he left the world-famous Rousey coach, Taverdian. That's a hell of a heavyweight fight. Derek Lewis just dropping fools all the time. He's won 5 in a row at heavyweight. It's a big fight, man.
That's a big fight.
But here's the one I want your opinion on. A couple guys who have fought in your division for a while.
Oh.
Hector Lombard, Johny Hendricks, now up at 185, both of them. Both a little past their prime. What do you think about that one?
That's tough. I got to give it to Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard's a much bigger middleweight. But Johnny's got the overhand left. This is the thing with Johny, though. It's like he has an overhand left.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the only arsenal weapon you really got to be afraid of on the feet. Like, you don't really have to – like, everything else sets up the overhand left. Kind of like Dan Henderson. Everything sets up that overhand right, So I feel like, Hector's got an edge, but it also depends on which Hector comes out and fights, Because I remember his debut in the UFC against Tim Boach, and he lost, and he looked like trash.
He did.
I was on that card. He made me look like $1 million.
Oh, man. So the last bit of news, Conor McGregor, they're trying to make this Mayweather fight happen.
It's not going to happen.
They're trying, but he's out in LA. He did a shoot with GQ. And when they asked what he was doing in town, he says, and this really fits the theme of one of the shows.
I know.
He said, maybe I'll search for Khloe Kardashian's big fat ass. She's been floating.
I saw Fightful did a write-up on this. I read it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that sounds like Conor McGregor, I guess, seeing some Kardashian butt.
Yeah. He says, I just like to see them in the flesh. Just see what the big fat asses on them look like.
Sounds really smart, intelligent as well.
He does, however, have some advice that I think people should take.
Oh, this guy.
People said please. He was asked if he admired them, and he said, admire. Never. Never put the pussy on the pedestal, my friend.
I've heard the pedestal line multiple times, and that's a fact. But at the same,
I believe that's a Romany Malco line from the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Of course, but yeah, he's a little reckless, this Mr. McGregor.
With the big fat asses?
I don't know. Just in general, he's gonna get in trouble sooner or later. They always do.
They always do. What would you know about getting in trouble, Matt?
I don't get in trouble. I just hang out. Never.
Interesting. Tell people about your travel schedule this weekend before we go, because, like I said, California, Illinois.
I think that's it. I think it's AAW Friday, then PWG Saturday, and then Glory Pro Sunday. And defending the title, the Atlas Championship. Right here.
It's a beautiful title belt.
It really is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. That's why I keep it next to my bed.
Do you sleep up there on the bed on the floor?
You know what it is? I do a lot of times. I either sleep on the wrestling mat or I sleep on the beanbag back there because the kids and the wife have the king size bed. We have a California king, but they all sleep
Isn't
there.
It great?
Yeah. Well, it would be great. It was great before I had kids. It was awesome. That's why I have kids.
Queen size bed compared to a California king. I could never go back, man. I
how could
mentally I would have my shoulders all crunched up and stuff. And on the king side, California king, you can just sprawl out.
California king, you can literally do barrel rolls across your mattress and be fine. It's amazing. You can always breathe. You can always find a cold spot, a hot spot, whatever. It's the California king's where it's at.
KingofBros.com, guys. That's where you can go to get that fantastic Matt Riddle merch. But he does have a PWG exclusive shirt this weekend for those of you who are going to be there. That is one hell of a shirt.
Yeah, post a picture of that. That shows.
Let me see if I can track this down because I was.
It's on a Twitter. It's on
I know.
My Twitter, Jeff Cobb's Twitter.
Here we go. Let's peep this out.
Oh, it's fire.
Present this to everybody.
It's
the Chosen Bros.
Oh, right there. Look at that. Look at the detail. And that's why, dude.
It's magnificent.
Oh, shit. I'll be furious.
So will you?
Oh, man. They look so good. They look so
these
good.
will be in AAW as well, right?
They will be at AAW. They will be at PWG. And then they will be at Glory Pro. They will also be at, I don't know where, I think Jeff might be at Wrestle Circus.
Okay.
The next day, the 19th. So he'll probably be taking some to Wrestle Circus as well. So if you're in Texas, California, or Illinois.
My dude Chief is going to be there at AAW this weekend. I believe Tyler Valls, another friend of the site, calls the action for AAW. We got Trina there, who you all have seen on many Fightful.com podcast doing the ring announcing Sunday. Friday night, Matt Riddle versus Jason Kincaid. Jason Kincaid does some incredible writing. If you all didn't see
he does some incredible wrestling.
Yes, he does.
It's going to be unique. It's going to be a unique clash of styles.
Yeah. If you all didn't see Jason Kincaid's 5-part series on his ROH tryout. Check that out. This weekend, the series that he's writing drops about how he got into Evolve. Then on Saturday night, Matt Riddle's at PWG in a huge tag match. Sunday, he's at Glory Pro. And then we got Elias Theodoru fighting that night. It's a busy Fightful.com weekend.
And next Wednesday, the mini doc by Flow Slim comes out. Matt Riddle, you're going to get the inside peek of the bro. I was a little worried letting people into my lair, my homestead, but I think they did me justice. We'll find out, of course, but the trailer looked good. It seemed like they summed me up in some video, so
it looks good. I watched the trailer last night.
Yeah, I think anybody that watches it is going to be like, they'll be entertained if anything.
Guys, visit Fightful.com, Fightful MMA, FightfulWrestling.com for all your wrestling, MMA, boxing news, live coverage, exclusive interviews, backstage news, photos, videos. We got it all. We have podcasts from everything from fans to businessmen to wrestlers to fighters to Frank Trigg is now a licensed official. UFC Hall of Famers in this biatch.
Wrestling Dan Severn.
Wrestling Dan Severn.
Big stuff. Big week. It's been a big week, and it hasn't even happened yet. Like, I still got 3 more days.
Did you know that Frank Trigg actually wrestled a match once, pro wrestling match?
I believe it. I know when I was in Vegas, I did an interview with him on a Skype kind of call. And then I know we ran into each other multiple times. We never trained together, but we ran into each other. And then, before I left, he was officiating MMA fights for amateurs.
Yep.
So I think he's a great fit for a professional. He's a great fit for a referee. He's one of the most educated people in the sport of mixed martial arts,
Yep. He wrestled AJ Styles in an MMA mock match.
Really?
No Surrender in 08, yeah. Wasn't that good. It was pretty terrible.
Hey.
They can't all do it.
Not everybody can be the bro, all right?
Time you guys subscribe, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. Leave us a good review. We'll follow you back. Matt, anything to tell these people before you go?
Just follow me on the Riddle Tough 7 on the Twitter, the Riddle Bro on Instagram, Facebook Matthew Riddle, kingofbros.com. And man, I'll see you guys out there.
Guys, tune in tomorrow. We got Shane Helms. Register for free early access to that show. We are talking about the process of running a wrestling show, everything from marketing to booking talent to booking venues.
Whoa.
Talks about how schools will sometimes try to screw him over on money. Every aspect of that. Go check it out, guys. Yeah.
That's just
written. We're not taking a peek behind the curtain. We're ripping the fucking curtain down.
There is no more curtain. The business has been lit on fire and exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Guys, we're out.